Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we're going to be taking a look at some customs by Matty Crafts. Now, I did a video about some of his customs a while back. It was some flood-based customs, but this time we do have some flood, but we have a lot here. Like, there's a big range of things going on here. And we have a figure that will be given away. I will explain all of the ways that you can enter when we get to the end of the video and we unveil this figure. But for now, we're going to set him aside. We are going to jump in, starting with that hunter. So I believe the idea behind this guy was that this is a hunter without any armor. But to be honest, it looks to me like this is two hunters kind of sharing the same armor, because we get to see a little bit of the plasma cannon and like kind of claw arm peeking out. So it almost looks to me like there was a hunter with like a normal hunter, and then another hunter's worth of worms just kind of climbed on the outside, and so now it's like extra beefy. You can see his eyes coming through. The texturing on this is really good. Like, it really does look like a whole big pile of worms. The articulation is limited, but it's still there. Like, you can still move this guy around a little bit. His arms can still move. He can still kind of go in and out. Hunters are kind of stiff at the best of times in mega form, and this just limits it even more. But you get enough to still, get walking around poses. I like that there's little bits of green thrown in just to make it a little bit more, unnatural. Like, this is not the kind of creature that you would want to meet out and about. I'm not even sure. I guess you could take it down by a lot of explosives, but I don't know. It looks like it would be more difficult than just a normal hunter, especially if this was, an extra hunter on top of the armor of another hunter. Very cool idea, and the way that he executed it is pretty good. I'm not sure that this particular idea could have been done any better, because it's kind of a difficult thing to pull off. So this is pretty impressive. Our next figure is this ODST sniper. The first thing that sticks out to me is this elite skull on his shoulder. And it looks like there's maybe a bullet hole right through the middle of the head. So you can see clearly he is a pretty decent shot. And then the second thing that pops out to me is the fact that he's wearing like this ghillie suit kind of hood. Now, the head does not want to stick down all the way. I think the ghillie suit stuff is bumping up against each other, and so that's keeping the head from going all the way down. So he doesn't have much posing in the head anymore. Visor's painted up pretty nicely. We got some lights on there. The chest plate has some extra like pouches and stuff. Looks like there's an entirely custom backpack on the back here. That looks pretty cool. It looks like he's got enough gear to kind of camp out somewhere for a while. We got the ODST shoulder with some bullets on there, which is not something Mega has done themselves. Pouch on the thigh. And then I love this dark blue and dark gray, like really low contrast thing. That's kind of the same color scheme that I'm painting my real life armor in. So I think that's pretty cool. The rifle is just a Marine sniper rifle, and he didn't paint the lower arms, which personally I think that was a really good choice, because that allows full posing of the lower arm without worrying about, scratching the elbow joints. So that's pretty cool. I like that whole concept there. I just think the hood and the shoulders, like, there probably should have been a bit of a cutout so that the head could properly sit down and still move around. Or maybe just cloth would have been a good move. I'm not sure. But I do like the sculpting, especially around the stuff, like the shoulder stuff. That looks really good. Yeah, this whole figure is really nice looking. The bullet hole in the elite skull, that gets me. That's really well done. We have two more ODSTs. Now, these guys are very clearly part of a squad. They're not exactly identical, because you can see the pouches on the chest. This guy has 3 down here, whereas this guy has like a mag pouch and then another one over here. And then on the thigh armor, he's got one over here. He's got one over here. So they're not identical, but they are part of a squad. And I really like this color scheme. It's not just straight, bro, stand up. it's not just straight red, straight blue, straight white. It's kind of a toned down white, and then the dark red, and then the teal. It just gives them a really unique look. Shoulders are painted up really nicely. Backpacks are all customized, looking really good. There's the paint on the legs. Just a really cool color scheme. I like the visor color as well. The visors are painted nicely. Now, unfortunately, these guys suffer from an issue that I've run into myself multiple times, and that is the paint staying tacky on the head. The only way I've found to like get rid of that is to not use a gloss coat. I think the gloss coat messes it up. Certain kinds of paints will make the rubber on the head kind of tacky. So giving it like really thick layers of a matte top coat usually works to keep it from staying sticky like that. But yeah, it's a problem that I've run into. The heads can be really finicky to work with. That's actually one of the reasons why I haven't been painting very much over the past year, because I ran into that issue multiple times, and I was like, I don't want to keep painting if all my customs are going to end up with sticky heads. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but overall these guys look fantastic. And again, the fact that the lower arms are not painted affords for a lot of posing options without worrying about scratching the paint. And personally, that's how I like to do customs, so I definitely can appreciate that. Continuing with the UNSC theme, we have this, I think it's a haunted Recon. So he's got like the ghost fire coming off the top of his head, coming out of his shoulders, and then around the back he has a sheathed knife that seems to have the same ghostly glow as the rest of the stuff coming out. Pouches on the thigh, looks really good. And there's like a kind of a gradient going on. It's purple and blue, kind of all swirling together. Visor is red, kind of gives it a very ominous look. I'm not 100% sure about the choice of a yellow chest plate. It provides a lot of contrast. I don't know if it's exactly the right kind of contrast, but it's certainly interesting. Also, look at that. He's got armor on the backs of his hands. It looks like armor similar to what Chief has in Infinite, which looks really cool. And then he's got some shotgun shells on this side. So that's a really neat idea. It's really different. I haven't seen a lot of people do haunted stuff outside of, like the Haunted Spartan. So this is pretty cool. Again, I'm not 100% sure about the choice of yellow. Maybe if I had picked the color there, I probably would have gone with, I don't know, maybe that kind of flat green. Maybe that would have worked well. That, or maybe just the black. The black might have looked good. But either way, that's really cool. And I like the sculpting here. The sculpting is really well done. I personally never tried sculpting, but this makes me almost want to try. I mean, look at that. It's like fire, but it's all blue. So this one's really interesting. It sucks that you can't mold a knife to have it pull out like that and actually have it stay sturdy, but that's a really cool idea. Also, why don't more Spartans keep like a knife back there at all times? Okay, so this guy kind of doesn't fit in the UNSC or Covenant categories. I'm not sure if he's based on something, but we've got this knight-looking dude who has, I can't even really tell what the base pieces were. There's so much sculpting. There's like a whole bunch of armor. The head, I can't tell what the head was. It's now this armored thing. He's got like, I don't know if he's a human. Well, clearly he's not a human because he has got a bunch of arms. We've got armor here, really thick armor, very buff arm. He's got this cloth kind of cloak, trench coat kind of thing going, which looks really cool. It's got like some weathering and dirt. And then he's got all of these arms like exploding out his side, which it does not look pleasant. First of all, it looks like it's probably a very uncomfortable thing. And yeah, I don't know if he's like a good guy or a bad guy, or how the heck you would even defeat him when he has, how many arms is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arms on one side with 5 swords, and then he just kind of has a sword on the other side. Yeah, if this is like a reference to something or a character from some show or something, please tell me in the comments below because I am really clueless here. But this just shows that Mega could 100% do an original fantasy theme and have it look good because like it's just kind of a perfect format for medieval stuff. I really like the ribbing on the chest armor and then the big plate up there. That's frightening. Like that's genuinely frightening. Oh my gosh. And the sculpting in there too. Oh my gosh. Like the arms literally are like exploding out. And you can tell which one was the original arm because he's got the like bracer on his wrist. So yeah, somebody tell me in the comments if this is from a show or something. If this is just an original concept, then wow, that's quite something. Following that, I wanted to look at this little guy right here because this is a concept that I really like. A hunter grunt, or maybe it's just a grunter. But basically, it's a grunt, but he's got hunter gear. So he's got a little plasma cannon, and then he's got himself a little shield and some beefed up armor, a little mohawk, and then some extra stuff on his breather, and then spikes on the back. Unfortunately, it looks like in transit the spikes have gotten damaged. He's missing some spikes, although this one looks like it was supposed to be missing. This one, I don't think so, and this one is having a rough time. But this just looks hilarious. It's literally just as if a hunter got smushed down and put into grunt size. Like the shield looks fantastic. I love the way the head is done with the little mohawk, all the paint. I know we haven't gotten to the rest of the figures yet, but I think this guy is probably my favorite out of the bunch. He just looks so hilarious. I can just imagine having to run across one of these in game and, you know, being like, oh, it's just another grunt, and then realizing it's a grunt with the abilities of a hunter. Like that would be absolutely hilarious. I feel like this would really fit well. Like, why not give grunts miniature version of hunter stuff? Like, why not? That's a great idea. So really well executed. The only downside is the spikes having had a rough go of it, but that's what happens when you ship kind of fragile customs through the mail, because they're not exactly gentle with the packages most of the time. Continuing with the grunt theme, I don't know if this guy is a particular rank of grunt from any game. I'm not 100% familiar with all the different grunt ranks and grunt armors and whatnot, but this looks really cool. So he's got a really beefed up armor back here. He's got some more stuff on his shoulders. You can see some kind of silvery stuff in there. His breather has like this big forehead spike. He's got some green eyes, and then he's got spikes coming off of his elbows. Got a painted up needler. His toes have some paint on them as well. And then he's got kind of a, I don't know if that's supposed to be a badge or like a vent or something, but that looks really cool. Like, he looks intimidating, and that's saying something because grunts don't usually look intimidating, but he looks beefy. His face, like the way the mask is, makes him look really angry. That's really cool. And then the color scheme kind of makes me think this guy is a Banished grunt, maybe. He definitely looks like he could fit in with the Banished. He's got a kind of a shiny finish, which is interesting because typically we'll see people go for more like flat finishes on the grunts, but this guy looks like he's, I don't know, maybe he's a little bit wet, maybe he was swimming. That's pretty cool. I don't know if this is like an official grunt armor set or not, but if it's not, then it should be. So following that guy, we have another dude with kind of the same armor, but this time he is all in that matte kind of color. He's got some purpley hue on his arms. Okay, so the spikes on his arm, is that supposed to be like a bone spur? sticking out? Because it almost looks like it's a little bit bloody, maybe. Like he's got actual bones sticking out. Huh. This time, he doesn't have the shoulder, like, vent things painted. He's got the actual shoulders itself painted. And then there's blue lights on here. The whole breather is purple, got red eyes. And again, this dude looks so angry. Like, he genuinely looks frightening. Got that same, like, either badge or vent kind of thing. Same back section going on. Some more silver. Got some silver here, silver here. There's both of them side by side. Yeah, this guy definitely looks more Banished. And personally, I think I would prefer overall the more flat look of this guy. I think that complements the armor setup a little bit better. But yeah, both of these look fantastic. And somebody tell me in the comments if this is an official Grunt armor set, or if this is a specific kind of Grunt. Because if it is, that's kind of scary. Again, this looks like bone spurs. He's like Wolverine Grunt, except it comes out his elbows. Huh. Interesting. Oh, he's got his toes painted as well. That's pretty cool. The sculpting is really well done, especially on the shoulders. I can barely tell when it's not painted. It just looks like part of the base armor, but I'm pretty sure that it's not. I'm pretty sure that was added on there. And speaking of frightening, we have this honor guard who appears to be a Spartan hunter. That seems to be the general idea here. So we have actually very little of this figure is the base honor guard. Looks like maybe the thigh armor wasn't changed much. Well, no, I take that back. It was cut to be more of an angle. It was painted. There's a lot of molding on the feet. The chest plate is completely like redone. So there's a bunch of shells here. I don't know if they're shells stolen from a Spartan as trophies, or if he's planning on using human weapons, or if they're, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing with them, but he's definitely wearing them. And then he's got a helmet here with, looks like he shot him with the spiker right through the face and then decided to wear it as a trophy. The helmet is really nicely done. I love the way the blue is in there. And it looks like he's put some extra like divot markings in there just to make it stand out a little bit more, because the base honor guard definitely doesn't have that. Then he's got a sword and one of the base honor guard shoulder pieces, I believe. I don't know if anything else was done to that. Then around the back, he has a Spartan armor back plate integrated into his armor, and he's got like this spine with all the lights. That's really cool, and it's blended so seamlessly. Like, I had to do a double take when I first pulled this guy out, because it looks like it's all just one stock piece that was painted. But no, that is a Reach Spartan backplate, and it has been merged with the Honor Guard armor. So that's really impressive. That is some top-level sculpting right there. And then the fact that this helmet is on there as well makes me think that maybe that backplate once belonged to this Spartan, and it was added to this guy's collection of trophies. Or maybe it all came from different guys. So like the shells came from one guy, the helmet came from another, that kind of thing. That's super cool. I really like this. I think this one's a very close second to the Grunter. I still think the Grunter takes first place, but this dude looks really cool. And he's also kind of huge. The way the backplate piece is makes him look so much bigger. Now, of course, it would not be a review of Matty Craft's Customs without some Flood. So we have a Flood Elite here, which, you know, you might say, oh, you know, we've seen a million Flood Elites. What's special here? Well, first of all, we can still see the infection form kind of like poking out, which is absolutely disgusting. That is really just gross. But this guy has extra limbs. So he's got the like elite arm here with a plasma rifle. Then he's got the other elite arm. And then the Flood Biomass has decided that that's not enough arms. So then we have this big claw. Okay, yeah, there is a joint in there. There we go. It was just a little stuck. So it's fully articulated. It doesn't look like it can hold anything. The hand is quite overwhelmed by the biomass. So maybe 2 infection forms are trying to take over here. There was one, and now another one's trying to climb in there too, and the extra arm is popping out. Either way, that's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. Oh, we even got more biomass on the side there. This one leg is like the only thing that's not been completely overrun. That is absolutely terrifying. Yeah, that's, ugh. And it's done so well too. He's really nailed the texturing of Flood to make it look absolutely disgusting, because this does look absolutely disgusting. And then the little infection form sticking out makes it even worse. Ugh. Very well done, but oh my gosh, this thing is gross. Another thing I noticed, the little eye antenna things are flexible, which is pretty impressive, because usually, from what I've seen on Flood Customs, they are like static little sticks, and that means they're kind of fragile and you have to be careful. But these ones bend, so you don't have to worry about it so much. And last but not least, we have our custom to give away. So let's pop this open. Let you guys see what's inside. Oh, that didn't open it. Here we go. Oh, I just ripped it. That's fine. That works. Oh my gosh. What the... I've seen pictures of this, but the pictures did not do it justice. So we had our Spartan Hunter dude, and this guy is kind of along the same lines, but he's like the Needler Elite. Well, there you have it. That is today's bunch of customs from Matty Crafts. And I gotta say, this is one of the most unique bunches of customs that I've looked at in a while. There's just a lot going on, from the Grunter to the 3-armed Flood to the Hunter with no armor to the dude with the ridiculous amount of arms to the Spartan Hunters. Like, that's really impressive. Now, you're probably wondering, how can I win this Spartan Hunter? So, I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to explain it once. So listen carefully, and I'm not going to re-explain it in the comments. Go down to the description. There will be a link. There will be the top link in the description. It will say where to enter. You can click on it. It will take you to a Gleam widget. The Gleam widget will tell you everything you need to do to collect entries. It'll tell you how many days are left, how many times you're entered, so on. Once the time runs down, the Gleam widget will pick one random winner, and I will contact them and arrange shipping their prize. I will cover shipping, so you don't have to worry about that. But you do have to worry about paying attention to those instructions that I just said, because I'm not explaining them again in the comments. And every time I do a giveaway, people always go to the comments and go, how do I enter? If you say that, I'm literally just going to say, watch the video, and that's it. So pay attention to that. Right underneath that Gleam link will be a link to Matty Craft's channel. If you want to see more of what he does, highly recommend you go check his channel out. So yeah, this dude is really, really cool. You guys do not want to miss out on this. This is so, like, legitimately, this is epic. I mean, look at that. Look at that. But I'm going to remove him, actually, from the frame so I know I can get a thumbnail shot, because you're not going to see this guy in the thumbnail. He's going to be a surprise all the way to the very end. And so thanks for sticking around all the way to the end. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And I'll see you next time.